August 2024 on Harmony on the Hill, NRT Cartoon Carbon project. What I'd like us to go through today is to review what you've done, and we discuss, we critique, and agree on the next steps. All right? So it shouldn't take too long, but let's start with that. I can see we have Alvan, Nicholas. So the others are not here yet. We'll start with that. But just before, let me quickly give you a review of the client's position. Client is urgently needing the work as we speak. They have some events lined up and they need the work to start testing. So we need to try to get it to them by next week. However, there's certain things we have to do. And as I said, we have to finish Act 1. Then we move to Acts 2 and 3 and try to finish those. What does finishing mean? It means completing the, let's say, rotoscoping, which is the tracing. So we finish that. We color it. We lip sync. And we lip sync before we color. So we draw, we lip sync, we color. So that's one body of work for our characters. Then we, of course, we do it for Act 1. We proceed to Act 2 and Act 3. Once that's done, then we now build the scenes. So that has to be done now by next week. So we have very little time. So I want us to focus very strongly on trying to get this work done by next week. I'm also behind because I was supposed to have given you a pre-visualization. I've not done that. And that affects Act 2 and Act 3. So tonight and tomorrow, I'm working flat out to make sure I give you that pre-visualization. All right? On your end, try to work flat out to make sure your characters are done. You just have to work steadily and work flat out. Once that's done, then we are in a good place. If it's not done, then we're not in a good place. We have to start shifting jobs and say, okay, if you're overloaded, somebody else takes on that load, that kind of thing. But I really want us to try to succeed. And technically, by next week on Thursday. The client is going to start calling me on Friday next week. If they don't see anything, they'll start calling. On Monday, I have a meeting with them, so I have to present to them the pre-visualizations. And of course, when I'm doing that, I have to commit to our work. That's the next phase, the completed, colored, lip-synced work. That has to be committed to. So I'll commit to them, you see. So let's work hard and try to make sure by Thursday next week we're done. If we go into extra time, we use the weekend. So Monday, waking up on Monday, we should be presenting to the client the final work. Okay? When I say final, it means the first draft. They will now pre-test, come back with feedback, and then we proceed from there. So let's keep to that. Let's just try to now make sure we do that. I'd like to see what you've done. And when you show me what you've done, it's also a sign of confidence that you're able to do this work, because animation, like I told you, needs discipline. It's very hard. I mean, unless you have a lot of experience doing it, it's very hard to try and finish your work in the last minute. Just waking up and starting to finish off animation work takes time because of the business process. Putting your files in the right place, organizing them, and you have several layers of rendering you have to do. Then you're generating your own drawings, organizing them. All this, it just takes time, and it can really be frustrating if you don't have time to do it. So I'm really encouraging you now in the last round, and I'd want you to do your best to try to meet the deadline of next week. Okay? It's not impossible. It's possible. It's just that you have to commit. Even me, by the way, because I have not done my part. And I had hoped I'd do it. I got overcommitted, and then I haven't done it. So tomorrow night, I really have to work flat out. But let's start with your presentations. Who wants to go first? Alfan, you're the one top of my list here. You want to go first? You show us what you've got?
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
So can you guys see my screen? you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I went ahead and did some refining of the movements of the character, and I've started on the lip sync on the first part. So I divided it into three sections. So I've done the first and the second. So I'm also going to do the third one. So probably by Saturday I'll have the full outline of the animations. So this is how it panned out to be.
Lekishun, there's no going back. Grazing on the hill in this conservancy is our next best hope. I agree with you, my friend. Our grazing land is depleted. Livestock won't survive without enough pasture. Lekishun, there's no.
So there's that part. Then moving on to this other part.
Then they used to make grazing decisions together, but now we do it individually. Then they used to make grazing decisions together,
So
but now we do it individually. Then
so it's a bit jumpy, but I'll fix the jumpiness when I start doing the lip sync on this other part. So moving on to the other part, which is this one.
overgrazing leads to soil erosion and reduced food for our livestock in the future.
Then we need the right balance of cattle, sheep, and goats. If we are to graze sustainably, a good grazing plan is essential.
Your
Almost.
character is not talking on that one. Huh? That one
Cover.
was talking.
Pardon?
Was your character talking in that one? The one
Yeah, so I haven't done the lip sync. So I just went ahead and did some refining of the movement as you had told me the previous meeting.
Okay.
So yeah, but there's a bit of jumpiness which I'll just clean it while I start doing the lip sync.
All right.
Yeah, but so far those are the ones that I've done. So the one that is remaining is only this one that
Okay.
will need so this one has only the rough draft of how I want it to be. So, but the animation is very minimal, as you can see. This part,
Yeah.
then, yeah. So only that part. Yeah, so this is the one that is remaining for me to do the outline, then do the final lip sync.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay, so that's good. At least you've made progress. Nice to have the end in mind. So we start thinking of, as you say, the refinements. So I think in general your drawing is fine, and also your the movement is fluid. I see continuity and consistency. That's okay, and you observed the shakiness, the one where there was shape shifting. So as long as you correct, it's okay. So I think that's fine. So far, so good. Work towards now completing lip syncing coloring so that your characters are complete. And if everyone's characters are complete, the compositing will be straightforward. Problem comes when some people have not done their characters. Then when you composite, you have gaps. And that's troublesome. So we need to make sure we clear, everyone does their part. Okay? So I'll make
Okay.
sure on my part as well, I do my pre-visualizations so that Act 2 and Act 3 are ready for you, Alfan, by the time you're done with this one.
Okay, sir.
All right. Alvan, are you ready with yours? You can show us what you've done. We can see.
Okay. So this is Lucky Sean. I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying to get. I was just laying out on how he was working on the first scene. Let me just play it.
Lekishun, there's no going back. Grazing on the hill in this conservancy is our next best hope. I agree with you, my friend. Our grazing land is depleted.
Yeah. So there's that first part where he'll be talking with with the other character. So I had to first of all animate him walking, and then when his name is mentioned, you can see right above. Let me just move the onion skin. Right above here, his face would change. So I was just working on getting this this flow. This flow, so that when I do the rotoscoping, and when I do the rotoscoping, I may tend to use this and have it in the final shot.
Do you have the image underneath this one? Or there's no image underneath?
No, there's no image underneath this one. This one is just the rough layout for location while he's working.
My fear with what you're doing, you're doing animation the traditional way. It takes time, and we're now on a very tight deadline. Rotoscoping is tracing, but now if you do it by sketching keyframes in between frames like this, you have errors, you correct. By the time you get this one sorted out, you'll find you may not meet the deadline. That's my fear. And I really have to express it because now, next week, Thursday, we can't skip that date. You see what Alfan is doing is just tracing. So if you trace, it's fast because you don't have to worry about keyframing. Keyframing is a complicated exercise that takes time. And in betweening is another one. It has its complexities. It also takes time. And if you do all that, I don't think you'll have time. Keyframing and in betweening need time. So my fear is that one. If you are tracing your tracing, you skip all this, you go straight into this. The roughs for tracing are different from the roughs for keyframing. So I'm afraid, I'm fearing for you.
Hello.
Mm.
My major worry would be,
Yeah.
Could you tell me? It was hard for me to find the precise video Alphan was tracing from.
Yeah.
Because I remember we were talking with him just the other day on where the files are at. That's why I had opted for this option.
I can show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you where it is.
In which specific file?
Yeah. And this one, like, you know the number on the storyboard or which panel number this one is?
This is panel 7 and 7 to 10. Panel 7 mostly.
Panel 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you able to open the animatic?
I'm able to open the animatic.
Okay. So you want to open on your side?
Yeah, I can open from my side.
This kind of problem you need to say in advance because the client, now you're in a situation where you're dealing with clients. Client is merciless. If they were here, you would hear them talking very badly. So you need to say it early. That's what it means to be professional. That you're saying these things early and making sure to guarantee that the work comes out. They're not going to take any excuse if I tell them that we are not able to deliver by next week. They'll start. They can even take legal action. So there's no compromise. You either you do it or you're being sued. Yeah.
Okay, so
Mm.
this is what I see from my end. I hope this is the one.
Yeah. So now the first one,
Is it?
Act One, you just double click on Act One. You can use this one, for example. I think I saw Alfan using the animatics, but no, this is animatic. Sorry, pre-visualization. Sorry, let's leave the animatic. Let's go back to the pre-visualization. Just go back. Can you see previous? Go to production. There's previous. I saw it. Yeah, Act One. Yeah. Okay, so this one has all the scenes. You said it's scene 7.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the options. You can use these ones because you see they have color and everything. This is scene 7 and 8, and then sequential order. So you can import them from here into your timeline, and when you play them back, it will just play back with movement. So these are the frame
Oh,
by frames. Yeah.
so I mean, putting all of these images into Tunbun, then
Yeah.
tracing over them.
Yes. You see the code up there. It says Act 1 P07-08 and then 0 to 210. So what this means is it's Act 1 and P is panel. So panel 7 to panel 8, that's on the storyboard. Frame 0 to 210. That's now all these. When you input them, you'll get the motion. But when you look at them, they look the same. But when you input them, you'll get the motion. This is for
Okay.
color. Yes. But if you go back, you can get the MP4 if you want to get the MP4 in black and white. Just go back one step. Again, go back. One step. Act 1, previous. It's not showing.
No, it's not. It's not showing.
Just scroll down here. Let's see. Okay, these are different. Huh? Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, so in the roots, then I'm going to put I don't know why it's not showing, but I'll put back the previous here. That is now the one that's compiled as an MP4. I'll put it in the root of previous, so you'll see that one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So those are the two options you have. But work hard and do the tracing in a way that you can benefit from just tracing. It's important also, Alvan, because even the next job, which the next job starts next week, by the way. So you finish this one by whatever day you finish it, you can start the next one. And it involves the same thing where we go through these motions, we do the storyboard, we do the previous, we come now and start drawing frame by frame. And not all of them we'll discuss anyway, but some of them are 3D anyway, some of them are 2D. So just depending on what you're doing, you will have different approaches to working. But you have to work in the next job, you have to work with time and also with, you can say, consistency, because it's that kind of job. But I'll explain it. But to get on to the next one, this one has to be off the table. So at least let it be with the client so that they're reviewing it and then we can move on to the next. So we can technically say the next job is not next week, but the week after next. But I want us to emphasize getting this one off the table. So work in the quickest way, maintain accuracy, and also um, the kind of fluency we want to see in animation without the mistakes of movement. If you just work in a consistent way, you'll be okay. All right, so I'll put it up just after this meeting. Anything else you'd like to ask on this thing? Anything that you may have? I don't see. I saw somebody in the group. Is it Waira is joining? This is Vikram. Okay. If you have anything you'd like to ask, feel free. This is a moment where you can ask anything. Okay, so just to summarize, what I will do is put up my pre-visualizations by tomorrow evening and then Saturday evening. those are the 2 days I'll work on my pre-visualizations. So you'll see them. You see, if I do it tomorrow evening, you'll see it on Saturday morning, and the other one Sunday morning. You'll see it there. That's for Act 2 and for Act 3. Okay, I'll put up both sets. I'll put up the black and white MP4s and then the color frame by frames. The frame by frames are more than the MP4s because the MP4 is edited. So, when it's edited, you're cutting out some frames, so you'll end up with less in the MP4. But we're going by the MP4. If you do more, it's okay, but it's just that you have more drawings you're doing if you're working with the frame by frames. But you have the freedom of choice on that one. As long as your character is in there, we'll be able to synchronize. If we all work from the MP4s, for example, if we all say we're all working from the MP4, that's the pre-visualization itself, black and white, it becomes easier to build, to synchronize, because you're working on the same flat bed, you see. If we all say we're all working on the frame by frames, again, it's easier to composite. But when you're working across, you'll find that there'll be slight discrepancy, so there's some registration issues. It takes longer to composite. All right, but I'll just emphasize this is the difficult phase. So I'd encourage you to work where you're most comfortable. Okay, I gave you both just for that. I mean, you might find your comfort level is better with the color one. If not, then that's the frame by frame one. Yeah, you can just work with the MP4s. It's fine. Okay. When I'm done with the pre-visualizations, I'll be doing the backgrounds. But there's one character that's not being done. The one's for Fred. Fred is not working on Nkarai. So whoever finishes, I can give you Nkarai. We can, or Ayan, if you finish. And you get paid for it, you see, because we're paying according to what you produce. If you take on somebody else's work, I'll give you the extra work and you just make more money from that. So if you're ambitious in that sense, then just finish and then take on Fred's work because I've not seen anything from him. He's not even coming for the meeting. So I can't really speak for what he's doing right now. You have questions on this? No questions? And then you leave out, or anything you'd like to add, or you leave out a panel. We have to detect that it's being left out. And ideally, it's better when we detect it on time, then so that we can delegate that work to someone else, so that the work is flowing all the time. Okay, that's why it's important. Everyone has to put up their work this week, not on the last day, but put it up what you've done as we go, so that we can see. Even if it's work in progress, it's not bad. You put it up every night. Then that way we get to see what's not done, and then I can do some damage control. Otherwise, the job is complex, partly because we're many. It's always like that with animation. You're many. You're not one person working on it, and then there are many layers. All right. So it's a ensemble animation, which means it's an animation involving crowd scenes. So we have to keep track of every element in the crowd. Even the animals are part of the crowd. We have to make sure the animals are done. You see, and leaving out things would just cause extra delay. So we have to manage all that. So put up the work, make sure you're disciplined in that way. Putting up the work every evening at the same time, even if it's not finished, just put it up anyway. You'll overwrite it with the finished product. That's fine. And then, of course, you make sure that you track your character carefully, not to leave anything out. And then if everyone does that, it'll be straightforward when we're compiling. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, just to confirm, I see the four of you. I'm assuming all of you are animators. How many other animators are there? And if you know, how many sort of scenes or shots would I be expecting on Thursday?
Now, in terms of shots, well, I'll share with you the storyboard. The storyboard has something like 54 shots, but I'll share that with you just after this. And then also the pre-visualization I'll share with you and the animatics, so that you just see how the pacing and the rhythm is, just for the purpose of preparing yourself. So I'll share that. But the storyboard will at least give you the full number of shots that you expect. Okay. Client has made some comments on the final edit, and his comments that were different from the storyboard is that we need to intersperse the talking heads with landscape scenes of cows grazing. Because if you have people talking all through, it becomes boring. It's like 9 minutes, and you don't want to have talking heads for 9 minutes. Although we have some motion graphics, but still they're long scenes of talking back and forth. And the client was of the view that we need to think about where we're going to put in and drop in some either explainer video. So we have some explainers which we're doing. So either we drop that in to break the talking heads so that it's not monotonous. That's a comment coming from the client that is in addition to the storyboard. We'll discuss it before editing. But yeah, so that's
Okay, that's fine. I understand that.
mm.
Well, the other thing was, is it only the four of you animating, or are there others?
Yeah, there's another guy called Jake. He's not here. So there's the four of us plus Jake, that's five. And then there's Fred, but Fred is not animating. I've not seen him. He doesn't attend meetings. So it's a fall off in a way because you see, if he was coming, then that's better because then we're all five, all six. But he's not coming, so we're now five. And the five have to carry the load of six. He has two characters he's doing. One of his characters are the main is a woman. She's a major character. So we have to get that done. But it's like this. Whoever finishes their work early can take on Fred's work. Whoever finishes their work early. So we'll redistribute. And that's where I see a delay coming. But the woman character comes in Act 2 and Act 3. And she's mainly featured in Act 2. That's where she features a lot. But she's also in Act 3. So we'll distribute that labor by when I see you finish your work. So whoever finishes will start distributing Fred's work. So
So
that's yeah.
despite him not being present, is he posting
No, no.
onto the is he posting his work, or is he gone completely quiet?
Yeah, it's gone completely quiet. I've not seen any posts from Fred. He posted once, but once is not enough. We meet weekly, so we have to see regular work. So he's not here. And then you see, unless he watches this video, he may not also post for this. So we can't rely on that right now because the client is expecting us to guarantee that we're going to give them this work next week. And if we're delayed, even that's a guarantee. I mean, the delay can be accepted, but it's not open ended, it's closed. We have to agree on give us extra time, like 3 days, 4 days, and then we deliver. And they'll accept. But it's not that we can extend it beyond that. You see, so we have to really now come through. And I don't want to rely on someone who has not been posting. So that's why I want to rely on people who have been coming. We'll redistribute his work next week. I might even distribute it before Thursday. I'll just communicate in the group. I'll let you know. All right.
Yeah.
So
Can I advise to redistribute it before Thursday so that it doesn't cut into the editing time? Because my bigger concern is that that would probably mean less time for the edit, and
yeah,
I think it would be better if we redistribute it or try to figure out a solution before the Thursday deadline.
yeah, that would be ideal. But I have to wait to see the performance of people. Say even now, nobody has finished their work, so I don't want to give any distribution when someone's not delivering. If people had delivered their work, then I would distribute. There's no problem. But if no one has delivered all their work, then I can't distribute that. We have to deliver now. And if I see people delivering by by Tuesday, for example, someone has delivered everything, then yes, but let it be visible so that we're working with something that's tangible. Okay, so that's what I'm recommending. And
Okay.
I also don't want to overstress because this thing can also get you very stressed. So I just want you to all be disciplined to realize we're on a deadline. You have to plan working today up to next Thursday. If you wait, you'll get caught by this deadline. So if everyone can understand that, then that's good. You manage your stress and keep things manageable until you deliver something. And delivery means that we are ready to composite by Wednesday. Ideally, we're ready to composite by Wednesday. But even if you do it by Thursday and you're able to make a full presentation, we can composite on Friday itself. We can do that, or even Thursday night we can composite. So compositing is not heavy like the work you're doing now. So if we are all ready by Thursday evening at this time, we can composite overnight, and then the editing can start Friday morning, and then we're on time in that way with the client. Okay. Yeah. So
Okay, so
okay. Thanks for the question,
uh,
Dr. Nicholas. You have other things that you might be thinking about?
I just wanted to just make one last one. The things that he was he doing an important character
Yes.
or
Yeah, he was doing the main character here. There are six main characters. The third main character is a woman. He's doing the third main character. She has she has a lot of talking in scene in Act Two. So he's doing an important character. Yeah.
okay, so thank you. That's it from me. I just wanted to know those things.
All right. So the other thing is that the edits are actually two. There are two edits. There's three, but I have to get the third audio from Steve. But there's English and Swahili. So when you're doing the edit for the client looks at this thing in English, but we'll do English and Swahili there. And there are different cuts because the Swahili is longer than the English. So you're going to get, the edits are actually different because of that. But those are things we'll discuss. If you do one, the client will exhale. If you do two, they'll be happy. And then they'll ask us about the third one. But we can go one step at a time. So we do one, and then when that's done, finish two. And then when that's done, we'll do the third one. So we'll go step by step like that. Okay? All right. If we're okay with that, then feel free. I mean, we're still asking questions because I really want us to make it by next week. I see Vikram, you've joined. Do you have any presentation to show us, Vikram?
Hi everyone. I think I'll just upload it before the end of the day.
Yeah, but try because I've been trying to explain that. You see, right now we're in production, and it's not like when we're in class or anything like that. The client expects 100%. They don't expect 80, 90%. They expect everything. And that everything, they expect it to be done to a professional quality. So, on one hand, it means we have to complete the work. You see, if we go and tell the client we've done, but this is left out, they'll consider the work not to be complete and they can't use it. That's how they'll start talking. So that's one. Two, if, for example, the work is not done to a professional quality for some reason, it'll introduce issues with the client. If just the fact that there's something there that is not done professionally and they've picked it up, it will now become an issue. So we have to also maintain. So these kind of things, the difference between this kind of work we're doing and let's say classwork is that this one, you have to get 100%. There's no option of getting a grade here, like 90. 90 is a good grade in class, but in production, it's a bad grade. You have to get 100, you see? So we have to discipline and work every day and also share the information. When you share the information, the advantage is like you put up stuff every day, at the end of every day. So every morning when I check, I see something. That helps me to know how you're doing and who is lagging behind for the purpose of now redistributing work. You see? And I have to redistribute. So if we wait for the last day, like next Thursday, it's too late. We have to start redistributing like on Monday evening. So that's Tuesday. We'll be redistributing. And it depends on who is overloaded because they're lagging behind and who is, let's say, ahead because they have organized their time well. But you have to always, every night, upload what you've done. If you do that as a habit, that's good. Yeah. And it's going to help you. I mean, once you get into this habit of working in a disciplined way, even the next job requires more discipline, more. So I'll tell you about it when it comes. So if you're not a disciplined worker, then I don't think you can be an animator. Animators are disciplined. You just because you don't work alone, you have to share this information with everyone. You have to get approvals, and things have to be precisely according to the storyboard. All these things, it needs a disciplined kind of workflow. So you need to demonstrate that. If you can do it, then that's okay. Maintain the consistency of work, maintain open communication. Because if we don't work as a team, there's no point. Client is paying because we are a team. They could have given this to an individual, but they don't. They came to us because we're not individuals, we're a team. But then we have to perform like one, you see? That means open communication. So if you understand that, then we're okay. I just need you to understand and then try to meet the deadline. I can't overstress it. Just do your best and make sure you don't try and do a magic move. Just if you know you're falling behind, keep on uploading. Let us see, and then we see what to do and how to redistribute work so that we can all make it together. Okay? You know, if one person doesn't make it, we all don't make it. Okay, so if that's okay, then let's start tonight uploading what we've done. And so tomorrow I'll check, and then also Saturday and then Sunday. I'm also in the same boat. I have to make sure the pre-visualization is done by tomorrow evening so you can see it on Saturday morning. And then I have to make sure it's done by Saturday evening so that that's Act 3, so that you can see it on Sunday morning. I have to also do my part, you see. So everybody has to do their part. If you have questions, you must ask at this moment because we've lost time. So now we're in the last stretch. All right then. So any other questions or any other comments? Anything else you want to add? Okay, if there's nothing, then let me say thank you for coming and asking, and I'll see you online from here. And all the best. Bye.